I'm not going to war for Israel. Put a one in the chat if you are also not going to war for Israel. We not dying for Israel. Let it be known. Hey, Nixie. Nix ain't dying for Israel either. Oh, she wants food. She wants to eat. Oh, wait. Well, enjoy the music, chat. Hold on. Test, test. Sorry, chat. I'm ordering my food. You sound like a robot. That should fix the problem. Let me save this before I forget again. There we go. What's up, chat? Hello, hello, hello. Are y'all ready to go to war for Israel? I'm not going to war for Israel. Or America, actually, now that I think about it. Like, I keep saying I'm not going to war. I'm not going to war for any country. Bro.
I did everything.
You not
right
getting
and
me.
They indicted me.
You not getting me. It ain't happening. You almost got me when I was younger. It ain't happening now, but I know better. Max was trying to think for the 100 bits. I'd rather serve crack. I'd rather serve crack than serve this country. It's one of my funniest, my favorite tweets. Not my funniest. I didn't make it. But I could steal it. I could indeed steal it. Nobody would know. They started this by bombing a girls' school to death. That was now at 60. You're actually incorrect, Chatter. It's actually not Israel started it. It's Israel with America's blessing started it. It's a joint operation. It's both. We're not complicit in this. And both parties wanted this to happen. Ain't that fun? Ain't that fun? We live in a country where the duopoly is so strong that like liberals will try to. They were yelling at Hassan like a week ago about him being like, no, you have to. Adam Mockler in the debate was like, no, you have to admit they're different. You have to say it. Say they're different. Say the Republicans and Democrats are different. Literally like a week ago. Right? And now they're both cheering on this escalation. Or at the very least, you have Chuck Schumer who was like, listen, I'm pro this escalation. I'm pro going to war with Iran. But like the president hasn't convinced the American people yet. He has to do that first, actually. He has to first do that. He has to first convince the American people. Then it will be okay. Like, bro, these are these are lives. Children's lives that have been snuffed out because of these warmongering parties, both of them, including this pedophile president and the pedophile prime minister of the pedophile country. That's freaking darn it. So many freaking pedophiles running these nations. That with them mad because Trump didn't ask them permission. They would have gladly given it to him. Yeah. It was even more perverse because Hassan acknowledged the difference. Mockler wanted Hassan to say there's a substantial difference as opposed to marginal. Nuts. I know. When are you deploying? I'm not dying for Israel. I put it in the title. No, I'm going to put it first in the title. Just so everybody knows where I stand. I'm not dying for any country, but definitely not for Israel. Does what Israel did best. Oh God, links today scare me. Yeah. We'll get into this. Sorry, I'm looking for. This should be fine. Sorry, chat. I'm ordering my groceries. Because I have a problem with just ordering food. Because I don't have any food here. So. It's literally less expensive if I just order my groceries, you know, to be here than to just order food every day. I will also be ordering my breakfast. I literally did not eat yesterday. And that is a problem that I consistently have. But I had no food yesterday. Except for, like, lunch. So do that. Then we'll do this. CMAR 3. C Mary? They were the 3 months in advance. Onto the sub, long time fan. Thank you. I appreciate that. Can you buy your breakfast too? Sure, what you want. Trying to treat right? Oh, 100%. One of my worst qualities. It's up there with like me hating working out, And me eating meat. You know, I'm a flawed person too. We all have our things. Not eating stress. Not even due to stress. It's just like um I just went to sleep early because I was tired. And I slept through lunch. And then I slept for like 12 hours. And now I'm here. So I didn't stream on my second channel. I meant to do it, but I went to sleep just insanely early. It's not a parody account, by the way. Oh, I have the account blocked. That was so funny. I was like, I forgot I blocked the IDF on Twitter. I just didn't want to see what they said. So anyway, hold on. Let me get my food real quick. What's gonna be? I don't really want to talk about today. I don't know. As you hear, I can be isolating when you're not American normal. Yeah, we'll get into all the news and updates and stuff. I promise. I know there's a lot of people here right now, but we're gonna get into it. And we're gonna start with that today. But let me hit this and this. And then let me hit this. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be fine. I'm gonna do this. Let me do this. And then I'll close these tabs and then we'll get started. Okay. Close tabs, right. All right. Did Iran just drop their balls on Israel? Is there a new thing happening? Okay, don't put me in the same. Don't put me up next to somebody who's ableist and collabing with Mr. Beast. You put me next to Daft. I'll take the Daft comparison. I'm right there with you. But okay, retaliatory strikes. Okay. Let's get into it. Let's get into it because oh my goodness, is it crazy that I say I was planning on not streaming today? Is that wild? I have a thing tonight that I have to go to, and so even the thought of not streaming was just like boom, war, you know. Israelis dance and sing in the bomb shelters. Is this what video I think it is? No, this is a different video. Bro, I keep seeing. This is the second video I've seen of Israelis in bomb shelters just like flexing. Well, not flexing. This one, and then there was another one where I was just like, you know that one like Travis Scott meme that's like like that. It was one Israeli woman who was doing that. It was just like, man, it's so hard living in Israel. Y'all don't understand. Like y'all started this. You started this. What do you mean it's so hard living in Israel? Are you I can't, bro. I can't. Is another one? Is this the one I thought? This is the one I thought. It was just like, oh, there's man, I'm in a bomb shelter right now. Right? It's so scary. Just like I wonder how the school children felt. You murdered 60 of them. So on today's title, he's probably gonna stream early. Hey, hop off my turf. Also, I mean, that's not surprising. That's not surprising, bro. Like, this is like, I mean, this is a injured another 60. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. There's a level of like frustration here because like we knew it was coming, but like, are we serious, bro? Here, let's start with I saw an Al Jazeera link somewhere. Here, I'll look at the ABC News link. Sorry, it's loading. It's loaded. It's loaded. I skipped past my art update. Okay, I'll do that really quickly. And then we'll get into the sad news. I want to start with something that's not as rough. Oh, that was weird. Anyway, this is my update on the comic that I'm working on. This is what we have so far. As you can see, I added the jacket here, and I added the face here. And then I basically just kind of copied this part and put it right here. Also, he got these things on his necklace. It's just a little rough edit. That's what we are. So these are the rough outline of all the panels are kind of done, right? And so, excuse me, King Art's Future Trunks. Hey, hop off. It is very Future Trunks-esque now that I think about it. A song street title, World War Epstein. I mean, basically, bro, basically. That's what's happening. But anyway, that's my art update. And if you want to see more art stuff, make sure to get the Mexican flag on their gi. That's so funny. Follow my second channel. That's where I do all my art stuff. If I'm not doing it off stream, whenever song will be live, or I will be early. Probably. He probably will be early. But let's get started with like the actual news and what's going on in the world. Did you show your go to Yuta drawing? Oh, I did not. Here. It's in my artist page here. I posted this. This is my drawing of Yuta that I did. And if you want to see more drawings like these that I do, check out my freaking art page on Instagram or my second channel on Twitch. But yeah, because I was thinking fun like new Pokemon. We already did yesterday, so I know how much you want to put off talking about the depressing news, but we already covered the Pokemon stuff. I think Nick needs to go outside actually. There we go. I just opened the door. Do you think Sam would do gaming? Definitely not. Yeah, probably nothing else going on. Yeah. Okay. So, Trump droned in elementary school. Trump and BB. It was a joint operation, chat. You gotta give them both credit for this. The KI liberals are going to be beyond insufferable. I didn't even think about them, and I don't necessarily care to think about them right now. This is the news update that happened early this morning. The toll from the strike. So basically, there was a strike that happened in Tehran. That was basically a strike by or joint operation done by Israel and the United States. So I want to go back to the beginning of these updates. because there are like 200 updates so far, and it started this freaking morning, bro. Um, Here, as reported, the U.S. made Israel attack first, so they have an excuse to attack. Yeah, that's definitely gonna work. That definitely is not a U.S. strike. Trump has a new article out. You can send a link to it. Also, of course, waiting until the dead of night to do it. Most American Israeli thing to happen. Here, we'll watch it start with the Netanyahu video. Netanyahu says U.S. Israel attacked Iran to remove an existential threat. See, this is why I said it's a joint operation, and the U.S. is going to be trying to remove themselves from the joint operation that they did because of the death toll and it being very clearly children. Not that the U.S. really cares about that, but like the U.S. will sell Israel out to like protect its own basic veneer of morality. And so this is what how Netanyahu described it. Here, let me.
זוממים לבנות מחדש את יכולות הגרעין והטילים שלהם ולהטמין אותם מתחת
To say was a hidden IRGC facility. Yeah, but that doesn't fly. That flies a lot more for Israelis than it does for Americans. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, they were hiding under the like that barely flew for Hamas under hospitals, right? And it only flew because of how pervasive like anti-Palestinian like sentiments were and pro-Israel sentiments were in America. But that goodwill has washed up, dried up. There's no more goodwill for that, right? So they can't switch, and that only worked because it wasn't America directly involved in it, right? It was, okay, Israel was doing this strike on these hospitals. It's not us. It's separate from us. But now it's pulling us into this. And American citizens, one, don't like intervention holistically, right? Which is why the cat stuff was very interesting because, like, even conservatives don't like intervention. The only people who like intervention are neoliberals, and that is your, like, moderate, reasonable Republican and your moderate centrist Democrats. That's really it. The people in power are overrepresented for interventionalists. People, U.S. citizens don't like that. Conservatives, liberals, leftists, they don't like that, right? And so it's going to be harder to swing this as like, oh, it was a IRGC facility underneath this, girls' school full of children, because the U.S. is like, we shouldn't be doing this in the first place because the war is already unpopular. War with Iran is unpopular already. You know? You guys don't like what anyone do anything to stop it? Like what? Like assassinate the president? Like what do you want people to do? Chatter. Because that can be used, weaponized for anybody in the Imperial Corps. You know what I mean? You must go and freaking take up arms against the government and start, blowing up facilities or something.
אדמה, ושם לא נוכל לפגוע בהם. אם לא נעצור אותם עכשיו, הם יהיו חסינים. ולשם כך, הנציגים שלהם במשא ומתן מנסים להרוויח זמן במשא ומתן עקר ושקרי עם ידידינו האמריקנים. ולכן יצאנו כעת למבצע שאגת הארי, פעולה שהיא עוצמתית.
This isn't what the Americans named it. It's not Operation Lion's Roar. Is it? What did the Department of Defense or War say it was called? It was like Operation Epic Fury. First of all, it's a stupid name anyway. Dumb name. Freaking sounds like a Power Rangers series. I mean, Power Rangers Epic Fury. Like, that's not the point, obviously, but like, it just shows how unserious the current administration is to and how flagrantly they disregard the lives of just people in general, right? It's a game to them. It's a joke. You know what I mean? It's like, guys, this is epic fury. This is what we're doing here. And to be fair, that's always been the case when it came to like U.S. military operations. They've always been very like LARPy. They've always been very like, how cool would this sound in a history book kind of thing. But this is just another example of that. It's just an unserious country.
פעולה שהיא עוצמתית הרבה יותר ממבצע עם כלבי, שהיה מאוד עוצמתי. אנחנו עושים זאת בשילוב זרועות מלא עם ידידינו בארצות הברית, תחת ההנהגה האמיצה של הנשיא טראמפ.
Okay, I'm not listening to this, man. If he has a video in English, maybe we'll look at it. But we're trying to find the very. There's already 22 new updates since I started scrolling this. But it basically started like. Yeah, I looked at this update from 7 hours ago. What we know so far: missiles have struck several areas in Tehran where ministries and military compounds are located. Explosions have also been reported in Iranian cities. Kermanshah. I don't want to butcher these cities' names. President Trump has said the U.S. has begun major combat operations in Iran aimed to eliminate threats of the Iranian regime. The Israeli army says missiles were fired from Iran, prompting sirens in several areas of the country. Israel has declared a state of emergency and advised citizens to stay close to shelters. A U.S. official told Al Jazeera that a joint U.S.-Israeli airstrike aimed to dismantle Iran's security apparatus. Right? This is why, again, I said it was a joint operation. Right? That was 7 hours ago. And it was saying that, and from there, we saw that they struck a girls' elementary school, killing 57 students and injuring 60 others, right? The children. And so you're probably going to see the U.S. try to separate and be like, oh, that one wasn't us. That one was Israel. We promise. Right? And Israel be like, oh, they were terrorists underneath the school, so they deserved it kind of thing. And then this is the update from the Iranian side. Iran's foreign minister says the strike on girls' school would not go unanswered. Right? And so, yeah. And so this is the picture that that kind of shows the destruction. Right? 57 children slaughtered. For what? For what reason? Right? These crimes against the Iranian people will not go unanswered. Right? And we know that from every one of the kind of small skirmishes that we saw between Israel and Iran over the past 2 years specifically, but even prior to that, right? They've been very much like testing the waters, right? It's just like, Iran at no point legitimately was like, we're going to destroy Israeli infrastructure. It was just kind of like, I don't want to say optic based attacks, right? But it was more like, well, Israel, struck us, so we have to respond with something to save face and to do a show of force, right? But we might actually see and Iran has and does target or is targeting currently military bases in response to this as well. But they've never been a full throated there's never been direct war with Iran, especially with the U.S. involved. But with this escalation from the U.S., with the U.S. becoming directly involved, we're gonna see a lot more casualties from this. But again, this is the most Israeli and American thing. I think people have gotten, especially since October 7th, people have gotten this idea that Israel is this unique villain of how they target civilians and how they kill children, which they have killed a lot of children and targeted a lot of civilians. But the U.S. doesn't not do this, right? In their own operations in the Middle East, right? This is why the U.S. and Israel are kind of hand in hand. And without Big Daddy America, Big Brother America to back them up, they wouldn't have felt so emboldened to be able to do stuff like this. So it's not a surprise that the U.S. is involved in a strike that kills children as well, right? It's just blood directly on the hands of Trump. You know, I thought World War III was already happening, like happening since when? Sorry, that was my neck. Oh God, what did freaking Hakeem Jeffries say? And we'll get some Israeli reactions to this and how they're like, crip walking on the graves of children as they do. In a second, but I wanted to look at this as well. New statement from House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. The Trump administration must explain itself to the American people and Congress immediately, provide an ironclad justification for this act of war, and clearly define the national security objective and articulate a plan to avoid another costly, prolonged military quagmire in the Middle East. Not like, hey, you just killed a bunch of children. Don't do that. He's like, all right, Mr. President, God King Trump, please grace us with your explanation for why you've done this. If you don't give us one, we're not going to do anything anyway, but please just tell us. Tell us this, I beg of you. Trump amassed an armada surrounding Iran and Israel and signaled that this was coming for 12 days. The Dem leadership did nothing because they wanted Trump to strike Iran. Enough with the lies. They're not this incompetent. Foreign policy is uniparty. Israel's wanted this for decades. Yeah. And then you had like okay, and right, you even had there's this video of Chuck Schumer that was going back around recently because it came out a few months ago. Chuck Schumer calling Trump Taco Trump for trying to do a deal with Iran in the first place. It's like Trump always chickens out trying to do side deals. This is what Schumer was saying 9 months ago. Right? And now they want to feign like ignorance to be like, oh, but you don't understand. You don't understand. Now we're totally against the war with Iran. But to be fair, they're not, okay, I lied. They're not even saying that. They're not even saying they're against the war with Iran. They're just saying, listen, we can go to war with Iran. You just have to give us a heads up. Come on, please, President Trump. Please, you have to just tell us so that we can go to our people and convince them that it's okay. That's it. That's the only thing that Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer have an issue with. The only issue that they have is Donald Trump is not giving them sufficient heads up or sufficient tools to be able to, or reasoning to present to the American people to be like, see, this is why we need to kill a bunch of children in Iran. That's what Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries has an issue with. This is what Chuck Schumer was saying 9 months ago, which is why, like, when they try to posture against being against what just happened here, you know that they're not.
When it comes to negotiating with the terrorist government of Iran, Trump's all over the lot. One day he sounds tough, the next day he's backing off. And now, all of a sudden, we find out that Witkoff and Rubio are negotiating a secret side deal with Iran. What kind of bull is this? They're going to sound tough in public and then have a side deal that lets Iran get away with everything? That's outrageous. We need to make that side deal public. Any side deal should be before Congress and, most importantly, the American people. If Taco Trump is already folding, the American public should know about it. No side deals. When it comes to...
Yeah, so you want Trump to look public. You're saying, oh, Trump, you look public. You look so strong. And you looked tough. Man. You like, oh, Trump, you look so tough. You look so presidential when you're about to strike Iran, you know. But when you kind of back off, you're letting Iran get away with it, right? But then it's like, oh, okay, Trump and Israel do a joint strike to strike Iran. Then it's like, oh, see, this is too far. You're not telling Congress about this. They don't care. They don't care about actually safeguarding and protecting the lives of the children and civilians in Iran, right? They agree with him. It's like the Maduro thing, right? It's like the Democrats agreed with kidnapping Maduro. Like they did, holistically. They were pro-kidnapping Maduro, which is why you don't hear about it anymore. Because they have to feign like, oh, no. You know what I mean? It's like when you, it's like wrapping a pill in a piece of bacon for your dog. And then like dropping it and being like, oh no, don't do it. Don't eat that. Please don't stop. and your dog is just like gobbling it up because you need to try to convince them that it was actually their idea and that they actually love it. That's what the Democrats are here. They're like feigning like disagreement with Trump on foreign policy when they actually agree with everything that he's doing. Because it's uniparty. They're all war hawks. They all love war. War lines their fucking pockets. There's Republicans like a good cop, bad cop. At the end of the day, they're both cops. Yeah. They don't want to lose their Israeli donors. Yeah. And also, even past the Israeli donors, they just hate Iran. They want Iran to be bombed. Because they're bad people who want war. They want forever war. There are very few people in Congress who don't want forever war. They want war in perpetuity. I'm not reading all this as well. Yeah, but I read this one as well. Here. Oh my goodness.
The U.S. and Israel launching a major attack on targets across Iran.
Yeah, the first strikes targeting Tehran in the early morning hours. Smoke could be seen rising from the capital. President Trump vowing to eliminate Iran's nuclear program and calling on citizens to take over the government.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go back to our team coverage here with Chief Foreign Correspondent Ian Pannell in Tel Aviv right now as Israel faces Iran's retaliatory strikes. Ian, good morning once again. What are you seeing there?
Yeah, that's right, Whit. It has been a very full-on morning.
Don't control the Middle East to ensure the stability of the dollar. Honestly, I don't even think Trump cares about that. I think Trump legitimately only cares about looking tough and being tough. And so I think Trump is being utilized by the people who do want like a stranglehold over the Middle East and the destruction of everybody except for Israel, because Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East. And they're using Trump as a vector. Like Trump is just like a loaded gun that is being pointed in a specific direction to just Trump fold to Wall Street every time with the tariffs. I don't necessarily agree with that. Right? And because again, I think Trump cares about the US dollar only so far as it makes him look weak. Right? But Trump will do stuff that will affect the US economy. It will tank the economy in order to posture looking strong. You feel me? For Trump, it's literally about perception. It's about, I don't think Trump has like any geopolitical motives. Trump is not ideological. He's being used as a flashlight by the demons that are. Exactly. That's my take. Right? He doesn't have any ideological basis behind or flashlight. I think it's flashlight. But behind his actions. Bolton, John Bolton has to be happy right now. The Onion articles are just they always hit. Bolton argues war with Iran only way to avenge Americans killed in upcoming war with Iran. Exactly. Why though? Why does he care about looking strong? It's not geopolitical. It's about his wallet. No, not even. It's because of his ego. He's narcissistic, right? We're arguing about under this one dude's narcissism. That's literally it. I don't think Trump cares about his wallet at all. He cares about his wallet only so far as that he looks. This is why he loves Zoran Mamdani, right? He loves Zoran Mamdani, even though Zoran Mamdani is against the concept of a billionaire, because Zoran Mamdani makes him feel tough. When Zoran came to him with a news paper, a fake news headline of him looking strong, he was like, "Yes, I love this. Yes, I'll do whatever you want to." Because that's all he cares about. He cares about his perception, right? He wants to be a popular strongman like him, but he doesn't want to do popular strongman things that actually makes him popular. He's a petulant child, and that's all there is to it. Yeah, and the people behind Trump, and he's utilizing and weaponizing Trump in order to get whatever they want, because they can use him, his bumbling fool persona to get whatever they want to. I think it's both. He's egotistical and engaged in these acts to further American empire. Sure, I'm not saying he's not trying to further American empire. I'm saying that his goal to doing so is not for American hegemony as an institution. It's done because he's the president, and he thinks that will make him look good as the president. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what Trump starts at. And so he's not ideological in the same way that Chuck Schumer is ideological, which is why he will entertain a side deal with Iran, right? If it makes him look strong, and why the Taco Trump thing makes him sad, because it's no, I'm a strong man actually. You don't understand. I'm a strong man. I'm a big boy. You can't tell me what to do. That sort of thing, right? But it's ideological for people like Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic establishment, right? The Republican establishment. It's ideological for them, right? It's Iran can't have a nuke, not because it makes me look weak as a politician, but because if Iran has a nuke, we will lose the negotiating power that we have over them to get them to kowtow to American empire, right? And it will lose the stranglehold of Israel being the only country in the Middle East with nuclear weapons in the first place, right? And then it will be another situation where it's like North Korea, right? Where like the U.S. can't necessarily or don't have a lot of say over what North Korea does or doesn't do because North Korea has nukes, right? And that gives you a lot of power in this like, post-nuclear era, right? And so that's why the establishment wants Iran to never have a nuke, but Trump, I don't think Trump necessarily cares about Iran having a nuke or not having a nuke. He cares about looking strong and powerful, right? And it's just the fact that like Iran having a nuke will not make him look or appear as powerful, right? He wants to be the guy who finishes the job and all these regime changes, Venezuela, Cuba, Iran, etc. Yeah. This is why his like whole no new war thing is so funny. Like I saw freaking Bradley Martin post like, no, I don't want to have war with Iran. It's like, dog, you voted for this. You voted for this, literally. Trump for sure doesn't care about American empire. He only cares about himself, but he definitely cares more about money than than other people see him as. I don't know. We might have to disagree on that, or agree to disagree on that one. Dude. I don't think you're incorrect, but it's just the question is just like how much Trump cares about that. But I think we're like on the same rough page. But Trump is a moron regardless. Was it Bradley Martin that said it? Hold on. What is his Twitter account? I'm pretty sure I saw a Bradley Martin tweet that said it. Oh, I spelled his name wrong. Okay, it was a Chris Mowry shit. And I don't usually agree with these liberals, right? These chorus era liberals. Oh, my food has been here for 17 minutes. Hold on. I've been sitting here yapping this whole time. It's gonna be cold. It's fine. I eat cold food all the time. Australia's prime minister said he supports U.S. strikes. Also, I saw Mark Carney talking about my thoughts on what did he say? Like, what a clown, bro. I get it because his name is Carney. Oh, my statement on Iran-related hostilities. That's a funny way to say murdering a bunch of children. Is the video of U.S. base getting bonked? No, I did not. My statement on Iran-related hostilities. Thank you for making me laugh. I forgot what I said. Oh, it was the Carney thing? It was funny. It's still kind of warm. Officer involved shooting energy? Yes. It's that passive voice. Is that passive voice? Oof. Okay, hold on. Before I get clapped by Twitch, let me put the politics tag on. So there won't be any ads for the remainder of the stream, or at least this section of the stream, at least. Kind of, are you eating so early? No. It's actually 7 o'clock for me, so it's not even that early. Shout out to all my Muslims out there, though. China politics, yeah. It is if you're doing Ramadan. So Iran struck back. Hold on. There's so many links. Hold on, give me a second, please. Oh my goodness graciousness. Okay, here, let's just go back to this real quick. Here, let's continue.
Woken up at 8 a.m. The sound of a air raid siren alerts on everyone's phone saying Israel had launched this joint strike on Iran and that it was going to be ongoing. A state of emergency imposed here. All shops, all businesses, schools, everything is closed. People hunkering down at home. And this is part of what we're now seeing, this kind of large-scale attack after weeks of growing tension and this military build-up. As I say, Israel declared a state of emergency. Also in other countries around the region where there are US bases, where there are US allies, they've also had to intercept Iranian missiles. Whit?
About what's happening inside Iran right now, and I understand you're getting new information about whether Iranian leadership were targeted as well.
Yeah, that's right. So sources telling ABC News that the Iranian president, Pezeshkian, and the Iranian supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, were both targeted by these joint Israeli US strikes. Now, we don't know whether they were successful in the eyes of military planners or not, but the Iranians, for their part, are reporting that a girls' school was hit by either Israeli or American strike. They're quoting dozens of girls at that school killed. This is being reported by Iranian state-run media. We can't independently verify those claims. Meanwhile, the internet cut off inside Iran, and I think people there...
That's also crazy, though, right? They would never say that about Israel. If Israel said that a school was hit, right, in Israel, the Western media would just regurgitate that. They don't have to wait for international clarification, right? They're like, well, we haven't been able to specifically verify. They could be lying, right? You know those lying Iranians lying about the great state of Israel. But when it comes to, like, you know, anybody in the Middle East that's not Israel who's murdered, it's just like, well, you know, that's what they say. Who knows for sure?
In a state of terror, they can hear the bombs, they can hear sirens, but they're not
Right at a hotel in Dubai.
getting news, and the warnings that are being issued by the US and Israel telling them to move away from military installations just won't be getting through. But it certainly feels that we're just at the very beginning of what could be a long and bloody campaign.
Yeah, and the targeting of Iranian leadership, if true, is a significant escalation. Ian, panel for us, we appreciate it once again.
Good morning, Janae. Well, President Trump is monitoring these strikes from his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida and vowing that this massive campaign will devastate Iran's military.
Oh my goodness. And Keir Starmer being like, oh, I support it. Of course, Keir Starmer supports kids being bombed as well. Did this as well.
Raised its nuclear program and is now calling for Iranians to overthrow the government. Now, for weeks, the president has stressed his preference for a diplomatic solution, but it was clear that his patience with talks was running thin. Yesterday, the president telling us that he was, quote, not happy with how negotiations were going. He is arguing that these strikes are necessary now to defend Americans against an imminent threat, but providing no clear evidence of that. And now the president, who ran promising to keep America out of foreign wars, is saying that American lives may now be lost. Janae.
And Mary, let's talk through his rationale and that imminent threat that he has mentioned, because the president has said very little publicly about why these strikes are needed now.
Yeah, and tension has been escalating for weeks. Remember, back in January, the president promised to aid those anti-government protesters, telling them that help was on the way. Now, since then, he has been pressed repeatedly on why strikes would be necessary now, especially given that he continues to claim he, quote, obliterated Iran's nuclear program in those strikes last spring. But Trump has not made the case publicly that Iran is closer to a nuclear weapon now, and he has not sought congressional approval for this attack. And while he alleges that Iran is working on a missile that could soon reach the U.S., U.S. intelligence has concluded that Tehran wouldn't be capable of that for another 9 years, Janae.
Isn't that crazy? He's not even trying anymore. In 2026, you don't even ever have to try to say Iran is almost getting a nuke. He hasn't even tried to say that. He was just like, yeah, I just kind of wanted to. Right? It used to be, right, back in my day, if you wanted to destabilize a region and strike and kill civilians, you had to at least try to act like you were doing it for some reason. You know what I mean? Now it's like, oh, who cares how close they are, you know? You don't even care how close they are. Yeah, we're going to do it anyway. You're going to support it, right? It's almost like to the tune of like him calling the bluff. Hey, chill out, Nixie. She wants to get my food. I'll let her in after I finish eating. He's calling the bluff of the Democrats. You know what I mean? He's like, you don't even care how close they are to a nuke because they don't care. The Democrats will support it regardless anyway, right? It's now this puts the Democrats in a weird place because like they do support the strikes. They do support escalation against Iran, right? So how much can they feign this being bad? And I think the Hakeem Jeffries statement kind of makes it very clear, where it's like, not really at all. They're not even feigning this is bad. Right? They're just saying, oh, he should need to explain himself to us. And that's it. That's it. That's all they're saying. You just need to give us a reason, Trump. Just say the thing. Just say the line. Say Iran was like 2 seconds away from a nuke. Iran was going to get a nuke in 0.5 milliseconds. Just say the thing. Say the thing and we'll support you. And that's what the Democrats are. And Trump is like, no, I'm not even going to do that. Then want to share the credit for the strike? Yeah, but they can't do that if there's no justification for it. And so they want to get and pull some justification for it and be like, see, there's a reason for it, guys. We have to support it. We have to support it. They don't need a reason. Yeah, but they do. They don't need a reason to do it, but they do need a reason to explain to the American people because they understand war is, especially war with Iran, is unpopular. Yeah, they want him to manufacture consent. And Trump is just like, no, I'm just going to do whatever I want to. Nix, relax. Hold on. I'm going to give her something to eat real quick. She looked at me very sadly, so I let her back in. Yeah. Wait, what are y'all talking about? Oh my goodness, there's so much stuff here. This is such a long thread. Somebody said, go wake up Hassan, Israel bombed Iran. That's so crazy. Trump posts in the dead of night about election loss to Biden hours after the war announcement. What? One Caroline's reaction in chat being abughazaleh. Someone was tweeting last night during the strikes. Somehow Hassan caused this. He claimed they meddled in 2020. He never changes. Hassan's about to go live on YouTube and Twitch to say, no, it's serious. Dang, he's going live on YouTube? President Donald Trump was posting on social media in the dead of night, in the hours following his war announcement, sharing a pair of messages about his election loss to former President Joe Biden at 2:30 a.m. Saturday. Oh my freaking goodness, bro! At 2:30 a.m. Saturday, Trump posted an announcement that the United States was in the process of attacking Iran, and video messages from Wait, okay. Does anybody have a link to the announcement? Because Yahoo's not giving it to me. I found it. I found part of it at least. Oh, YouTube link is better. Thank you. I can't see the Wall Street Journal link. Don't send me a Wall Street Journal link because I cannot see it because they want me to subscribe. I do not have a subscription. Thank you very much.
Just as the strikes began, President Trump posted this message on social media.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries. Among the regime's very first acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S. Embassy.
Hassan has never been incorrect in the Hassan or Hasanabi military doctrine, nuclear doctrine. Because I was thinking about this, like this literally would never have happened if they had nukes. It just would not have. It would not have happened if they had nukes. And isn't that kind of crazy? Ain't that insane? It's just happening specifically so they don't get nukes. Because if they get nukes, this leverage and their power that they're using right now wouldn't work. So all you need to do is hover your finger over that button and say back off, and then you're gonna back off. But hypothetically, no country has nukes. Well, that is a fantasy world that we don't live in, Chatter. So unfortunate, but literally a fantasy world that we don't live in. We live in the nuke, but the nuke world, the nuke timeline, the worst timeline, some would say. Hey. Go sit down somewhere, Dougie. Many would say even true. Many would say. Hello? Test, test, test. My OBS crashed. Not entirely sure why. Struggle 4 just went out 5 minutes ago too. Dang, are we all getting clapped? Is Twitch clapping us? So what would many say? I don't remember. I don't remember. But I was reading this Marjorie Taylor Greene post. Dennis crashed earlier too. What is happening? Marjorie Taylor Greene said, I did not campaign for this. I did not donate money for this. I did not vote for this in elections or Congress. This is heartbreaking and tragic. How many more innocents will die? What about our own military? This is not what we thought MAGA was supposed to be. Shame. Like you have like liberal Democrat establishment Dems being outflanked by Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene. This is a better statement than freaking Chuck Schumer put out. Not Chuck Schumer, the other guy, the black one. Hakeem Jeffries. Hakeem Jeffries was just like, Mr. President, please just tell me why you did it. And you have Marjorie Taylor Greene being like, I don't support this. This is bad. This is a bad thing. Black Chuck. I mean, is that kind of not what he is? Outside? Nick's is here, by the way. Like, here. All right, come on.
In Tehran,
Come on.
holding dozens of American hostages for 444 days. In 1983, Iran's proxies carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American military personnel. In 2000, they knew and were probably involved with the attack on the USS Cole. Many died. Iranian forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks against American forces stationed in the Middle East in recent years, as well as U.S. naval and commercial vessels and international shipping lanes. It's been mass terror, and we're not going to put up with it. In 1983, Iran's proxies carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American military personnel. In 2000, they knew and were probably involved with the attack on the USS Cole. Many died.
I love justification for war in 2026 is that they were probably involved with an attack 26 years ago. Yeah, thanks, bro. You're attacking somebody based on a probably, dog.
Died. Iranian forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks against American forces stationed in the Middle East in recent years, as well as U.S. naval and commercial vessels and international shipping lanes. It's been mass terror, and we're not going to put up with it any longer. From Lebanon to Yemen and Syria to Iraq, the regime has armed, trained, and funded terrorist militias that have soaked the earth with blood and guts. And it was Iran's proxy, Hamas, that launched the monstrous October 7th attacks on Israel, slaughtering more than 1,000 innocent people, including 46 Americans, while taking 12 of our citizens hostage. It was brutal, something like the world has never seen before.
Yeah, almost like killing, 87 people, chat said, no? Children? Young girls? That brutal?
Iran is the world's #1 state sponsor of terror and just recently killed tens of thousands of its own citizens on the street as they protested. It has always been the policy of the United States, in particular, my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. I'll say it again. They can never have a nuclear weapon. That is why in Operation Midnight Hammer last June, we obliterated the regime's nuclear program at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan.
Okay, if you obliterated it, as in like completely destroyed and dismantled it, why the strikes now? Why the strikes now?
After that attack, we warned them never to resume their malicious pursuit of nuclear weapons. and we sought repeatedly to make a deal.
I
We
love the
tried-
deal is just either you listen to us or we kill you. And that's the deal. And then Iran was like, I don't think that's a good deal for us. You're like, oh, gotta kill you now.
They wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. Again, they wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. They didn't know what was happening. They just wanted to practice evil. But Iran refused, just as it has for decades and decades. They've rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore. Instead, they attempted to rebuild their nuclear program and to continue developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our very good friends and allies in Europe, our troops stationed overseas, and could soon reach the American homeland. Just imagine how emboldened this regime would be if they ever had and actually were armed with nuclear weapons as a means to deliver their message. For these reasons, the United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated. We're going to annihilate their Navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terror.
Okay, I can listen to this demon speak more often, but I think listening to it speak more often is me doing a disservice. Here there was this from Ryan Grimm, which have issues with, but it's a good point. Jeffries, who held off a war power resolution long enough for Trump to go start a war before it came to a vote, does not condemn Trump's attack in his initial response. The party leadership, as reported last week, is eager to see Trump launch this war. And only recently, right, did he released this statement. It says Donald Trump promised to keep Americans out of costly, endless foreign wars. He is now doing the exact opposite in the Middle East. Congress must vote on a war power resolution immediately. That, Ryan Grimm points out, who Jeffries held off on the resolution for this long, only to then symbolically do it after the strikes have already commenced. Like, there was a, let's see if I can find it. There was a trying to find it. This one. Top Dems reportedly working to sabotage bill to stop Trump's war with Iran. Representative Ro Khanna and said the Democrats were trying to kill the bill. Were beholden to powerful interests that are itching for regime change in Iran. Top Democrats are reportedly working behind the scenes to stop a vote that would force them to go on record about whether or not they would support a Trump administration's attack on Iran. As the president amasses an armada in the Middle East in apparent preparation for an unauthorized military action, Representatives Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie plan to force a vote this week on their war powers resolution, which would require congressional authorization for any attack. Congressmen have emphasized the time is of the essence, as Trump has signaled that a strike may come any day, and Iran has indicated it may retaliate with devastating force. With a war with Iran is overwhelmingly unpopular with the American public. According to a YouGov poll published on Tuesday, just 27% say that they support military force, while 49% oppose it. Democrats are even more united, 76% saying that they oppose a war, with just 9% support. And yet, an independent journalist, Adia Chavez, reported in her newsletter, The Capital and Empire, Democrats in the House Foreign Affairs Committee have tried to dampen momentum and prevent the Iran war powers vote from advancing. Multiple sources have told her that a top Democratic HFAC staffer deliberately inflated projections of opposition to the bipartisan measure warning of 20 to 40 Democratic defections in a bid to indicate that resolutions would fail overwhelmingly. She said a senior Democratic congressional staffer told her it was pretty clear Democratic leadership were working to delay or potentially sideline the vote on the war powers resolution. If you've been around the Hill, this is a familiar playbook, the staffer said. Leadership really comes out and says they oppose these votes outright because they know the underlying issue is popular with the base, said the staffer, who works on foreign policy. Instead, you see the process concerns, timing objections, caucus unity arguments are used to slow things down or keep members off the record. We've seen the same approach on past war powers votes and foreign policy amendments that clash with the national security elite consensus. An drone hitting Dubai target. This is a separate one, I think. We'll get to all the retaliatory strikes in a second. But I want to illustrate that this is a uniparty thing, right? No matter what Hakeem Jeffries, and isn't it interesting that Hakeem Jeffries only came out in support of the war powers resolution after the strikes have already started in the first place? Ain't that kind of interesting? But like when Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie, pushed the war powers resolution to put people on the record to say whether or not they support or don't support a war with Iran, it was being sidelined and stalled by people like Hakeem Jeffries, right? By the party leadership. They were stalling it. When people say party leadership, that's who they're talking about. And now they want to be like, optically on the side that is like, against war with Iran when they actually support these strikes. They are pro-regime change. So they wait for Trump to actually institute the regime change, right? They wait for Trump to actually do the strike so they can optically be like, hey, I'm against it. I'm not for this, but actually I didn't say anything beforehand, so he could actually commence it. Insane. Democratic leaders have largely tempered their criticism of Trump's buildup for what would potentially be the most consequential military action taken in the United States in decades. Schumer, one of the top recipients of funding for the American-Israel Public Affairs Committee, AIPAC, and other pro-Israel donors, has limited his criticism of Trump's war posturing to question of procedure rather than policy. True. Asked earlier this week about potential U.S. strikes on Iran, Schumer lamented that discussions were being held in closed-door briefings, saying that the administration has made its case to the American people, or has to make its case to the American people as something as important as this. Senator Chris Coons, unfortunate name, who sits on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, issued a similar statement that did not object to war in principle, rather the fact that Trump's reasons for making war were unclear. The president and his administration have not tried to explain whether their goal is to destroy Iran's nuclear program, protect Iranian protesters, pursue regime change, or simply distract from his failure to deliver his promises at home, Coons said in a statement posted on social media. Congress and the American people need answers about what our objectives are in Iran. No, Congress and the American people don't want war with Iran. It's very simple. They don't want answers as to why you're going to war with Iran. They don't want to go to war with Iran. They don't care what your answers are. They don't care what your objectives are. This is unpopular in the entirety of the U.S. population, more so in the constituency that voted for you in the first place. You know what I mean? It's just so insane. Here, I want to see what Ro Khanna has to say on this as well. Should you know that we fired the old stockpile missiles, soon will unveil new weapons that we've never seen before. I mean, I believe that Iran has things that they haven't used. I think Iran has been very restrained in its responses to like Israeli and American provocation so far. Right? The question now is not whether or not Iran has new weapons to use. It's whether or not they will keep that restrained approach, even though they say that they're not. Will they keep that restrained approach, or will this escalate into full-blown war? Right? The only party who's so far, for the last 2 years specifically, but obviously since before then, was against escalating a war was Iran. Iran at any point could have escalated to the point of a full-blown war by attacking military and civilian infrastructure that Israel does, or like America does, right? But they've only did specific targeted attacks with noticeable warnings towards military infrastructure when they did respond to provocation, right? It's been very restrained holistically. I don't know how they back down at this point. They might, but they know that it's going to happen again. Yeah, I don't know. I think the IRGC specifically, I understand that they are probably less inclined to go to war with Israel and the United States as opposed to the inverse. You know, Israel's been itching, finger on the trigger, because off the heels of being told to calm its genocide down, and the U.S. are full of warmongers who are ready to see regime change in Iran. You know, and so I don't know. There's no good solution here for Iran. A full-blooded war with one of the most popular or most powerful countries, not popular, unpopular, but powerful countries on the planet, and its proxy. When China is not necessarily motivated to intervene because China they're trade maxing, they are anti-interventionists, and Russia has its own stuff going on, so they're not going to back you in the way that they probably would have if there wasn't a war with Ukraine going on right now. And so you're kind of striking out alone. You know, didn't really surprise Israel's first attack where an elementary school killed 51 schoolgirls. Israel loves killing children. Not good. I want to be very clear about this. This was a joint U.S. and Israel strike, right? It's not just Israel. The U.S. is directly complicit in that strike. It's not Israel killing 51 schoolgirls. It's Israel and the U.S. killing 51 schoolgirls. I think the U.S. will try to separate themselves from that strike and put it all on Israel because they understand that Israel is already unpopular for their genocide of the Palestinians. They try to remove their own culpability in that strike. Right? It's at 86 now. Yeah.
I think it connects a little bit to what is currently happening right now, sir. So you're currently working on this war powers resolution regarding potential military action on Iran. It's really only you, a few other Democrats who have spoken out against this, but we've seen no organized effort despite the tremendous unpopularity of this war. Why do you think that is?
Well, they're powerful interests that are itching to have regime change in Iran. I mean, they organized 100 people to protest me at my town hall back home.
Oh my goodness, he's doing the same thing. I'm sorry. Chuck Schumer's doing the same thing. Shut to all vessels. Oh, there's so much news. Hold on. This is serious. Hassan's going live at 8 a.m. Yeah, we'll tune into what Hassan is saying in a second. But like, when I talked to Senator Rubio, I implored him to be straight with Congress and the American. He's doing the same thing. I can't. To be straight with with Congress and the American people about the objectives of these strikes and what comes next. Iran must never be. Oh my freaking goodness, he's justifying it, bro. Yeah, Iran must never be allowed to attain a nuclear weapon. But the American people do not want another endless and costly war in the Middle East when there are so many problems at home. But you support the war though. Like you do. The administration has not provided Congress and the American people with critical details about the scope and the immediacy of the threat confronting Iran's maligned regional activities, nuclear ambitions, and harsh oppression of the Iranian people, and demands American strength to resolve regional coordination and strategic clarity. Unfortunately, the president's fitful cycles of lashing out and risking wider conflict are not viable strategies. The administration must brief Congress, including an immediate and all senators, classified briefing and in public testimony to answer these vital questions. The Senate must be quick to return to session and reassert its constitutional duties by passing a resolution to enforce the War Powers Act. Oh my freaking goodness. You stood against it, bro. They both said the same thing. They both stood against the War Powers resolution to be passed. And now, after the strikes had happened, they got what they wanted. This is literally a case of Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries getting what they wanted, and now they get to optically stand against Donald Trump. You know what I mean? Now they get to optically stand against Donald Trump. It's so insane, bro. You wanted this. They wanted this. They wanted this to happen. I can't stand liberals. I cannot stand liberals. I cannot stand them. I can't stand them. I can't stand them. I can't stand them. Anyway, let's see what Hassan is saying.
Will no longer be bullied. Why? Because Donald Trump said he was going to treat
white European countries like he treats nations.
It's
in
so
the
early for
periphery
a song.
one,
You can tell the sun's not even inside yet.
speak out.
So
Or
why
at
is he
least
dressed
Mark
like
Carney spoke.
why is he dressed like a Vietnam veteran? Y'all see that a little bit? Sorry. Okay, I can't. I can't with this man. Not this early. Not this early. Let's just watch this real quick.
I watched it.
They have people who are threatening in terms of donors and finances. I mean, look, this has been a long-term goal of AIPAC and other groups to have regime change.
Second orange pedophile for me to realize both parties are useless and corrupt. I mean, I'm right there with you. To be fair, I was young. My first election that I could vote in officially was actually no. First election I could vote in was 2020. Because for the 2018 midterms, I wasn't old enough. My birthday came 2 weeks too late for me to vote in the 2018 midterms. I couldn't even vote then. So my first election was for Joe Biden in 2020, and I had hope. I hoped. I was like, you know what? Maybe the Democrats will actually do something, and I was so wrong.
Change in Iran.
It was me for
and
Obama.
so, you know, when you stand up and say, I'm going to introduce legislation to uphold the Constitution and not get us into another war, you make enemies. And I think there's a reason that most people just duck these issues. There's a reason most people don't want to say, okay, release the DNC report, or there's genocide in Gaza, or we shouldn't be getting into a war in Iran and let's do a war powers resolution, or let's take on the Epstein class. It's not that they may disagree with it. It's just they don't want billionaires and powerful people to be targeting them.
Ryan actually reported over at Dropsite News that some of the thinking inside of at least the Senate Democratic caucus is effectively like, some of them effectively like low-key support Iranian regime change and are hawkish on the topic. They know that politically, where the base of the party is, they could never outright support that. At the same time, they think that if Trump does get into a war with Iran, and this is just like the most cynical possible view, they think that would be bad for him politically. So they've made the choice to just sort of stay silent and let this thing march on. I mean, are you hearing or seeing any of that logic within the Democratic caucus or your Democratic colleagues?
Well, we have a meeting tomorrow to try to corral support from the caucus. The reality is, I was ready to introduce the resolution on Monday. Wouldn't have had the votes, and I do think that we are getting to the place where we will have the vote.
I did see the New York Times, not New York Times, New York Police Department tweet about monitoring the situation in Iran and mobilizing police officers to be ready to deal with whatever occurs. Like, dog, it's New York. What do you think is gonna happen? Like, you think Iran's gonna strike New York, like from Iran? Yes. Yeah, baby. They think 9/11. That makes sense. That makes sense.
By early next week, but it's taking work. And it's taking work to say, look, we are going to put people on record, and you don't want to be on record saying that you support another war in the Middle East. But there are a lot of people in Congress, Republicans and Democrats, who just would prefer these issues go away. They don't want to stick their necks out and offend people in powerful places.
Yeah, well, and if we can put D3 up on the screen, some of them are willing to stick their necks out, but on behalf of going to war in Iran, I believe they.
Yeah. Also, there's this. There's so many. Let's see what Rokana says.
Donald Trump has launched a war on Iran. The Congress must reconvene on Monday to vote on Thomas Massie and my war powers resolution to stop this war.
Left this audio.
Trump says his goal is to topple the Iranian regime. But the American people are tired of regime change wars that cost us billions of dollars and risk our lives. We don't want to be at war with a country of 90 million people in the Middle East.
That's not true. Liar.
Every member of Congress must go on record today on how they will vote on Thomas Massie and my war powers resolution.
Yeah. Hey, bro, maybe now is a good time to explain why Jeffries planned this vote for Monday, 12 days after Trump began openly planning an attack on Iran, and 10 days after the war powers was first proposed. the House took less time, 8 days, to pass a resolution honoring Charlie Kirk? That is a good question. That is a good question. It kind of says that there's a genocide in Gaza and yet still get supposed to give Israel more aid. Yeah, that you're just describing a Democrat. I have my issues with Ro Khanna, but like this, he's correct on this. Like, as in like, they should go on record. They should go on record for how if they support war with Iran. It's very simple, right? People, the constituents, American citizens deserve to know if their politicians support forever war with Iran. They do. You don't get to just hide behind procedure. For Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, they have to hide behind procedure. They're like, well, procedurally, Trump is not doing this in the way that I think is valid and just for the procedure. But you don't get to hide behind that anymore, right? You don't. Do you support going to war with Iran? And if you do, you're getting primaried. I'm sorry. If you support war with Iran, you're getting primaried. You're getting kicked out. It's unpopular. It's not what the American people want. Democrats should be doing everything they can to force a vote and make it clear that they oppose a war with Iran. That is an overwhelming majority of Americans oppose. It would be a massive failure for leadership to not do so. Again, this only works if you think the Americans actually care about anything. This was 4 days ago, though, right? 4 days ago, and then like look at where it got us, right? But again, they're forward, they're pro it, and that's all this demonstrates.
American existence. And then we sit around and think, oh, well, as long as this domineering force that is like broadly defined as American empire is killing other school children overseas, I feel a little powerful, right? People sit there, eat their potato chips at home in their crusty boxers and watch their favorite fucking incel decrepit Twitch streamers and think, no, this force projection is good. It makes me feel fucking good. Well, your life sucks. Your life sucks. You have no freedom. You're fucking cattle. You are literally a goddamn slave. Some of you are slaves without actually even working, but that's just the reality, right? I myself am a part of this process as well. I play a role in this fucking sham. I play a role in this song and dance as well. I try to yell. I try to wake people up to these realities. But for the most part, you know, it's very difficult. It's very difficult for people to even envision any sort of change because we have been reduced to being servile cattle for many, many years at this point. Many generations ago. I'll just hit this early.
May Allah awaken the people and help them to see the evil doings of Israel and the United States.
Oh, inshallah, one day. In any case, here, you want to see who you're doing this for. Remember why this is happening. When gas prices shoot up because the Strait of Hormuz is now officially mined and dammed and closed, and that's like 10% of fucking all global oil commerce that won't happen any longer, and all of a sudden you're at the fucking pump and you're like, why is gas $15 a gallon? How did this happen? Remember who you're fighting for.
Oh wait, I was gonna show this as well. This is my next thing I'm gonna show. I have so many tabs open. I haven't even gotten to. Mix, I can hear you. Jeffries isn't getting primaried. He can. We just have to believe, chat. Here. Bomb shelter in central Israel Shabbat morning. This is what Hassan was watching. Yeah, yeah. As Christians were saying here, this is not the positive propaganda you think it is. Like, again, I have to remind you that at this point, 87, I think Chad said, children were murdered when Israel and the U.S. bombed a school. My goodness, oh my freaking goodness, bro. These children are dead because of Israel and the U.S. Indeed. But this is how they're reacting and responding. And then you have the IDF tweeting like, "Oh, Israel has a right to defend itself." Like I can't. These people, bro. I can't with these people. Hey, where's it at? Here, this one. Israel has a right to defend itself this morning after they struck and killed 87 freaking school children, bro. Disgusting monsters. But yeah, so there was this, and then there was this one as well. I'm in a bomb shelter in Israel right now. Silence just rang across the country as an attack with Iran appears to be imminent.
I'm in Israel. We just got the sirens and went down to the shelters. I guess it started. I will keep you updated. I'm Israel Chai. Hi everyone, I'm in Israel.
And then Mehdi Hassan says they legally bombed another country without any justification for the second year running. And this is, then they put out videos like this as if they're the innocent victims, beyond parody. Yeah. At the very least, the way that it's a little bit different than it was and early October, November 2023 is that, like, you know, she gets 10,000 likes and almost 10,000 comments. And this post gets 167,000 likes. Right? So at least the very least, the positive notion here is that the tide has shifted against Israel. And Israel is monumentally unpopular. Monumentally unpopular. Nobody likes Israel. Right? So that's like one of the few upsides of this entire situation. Is that they will only get more and more unpopular. You know? But then there's this from the UK. My statement on Iran. Oh, it's freaking long. UK Prime Minister announces support for the unprovoked war launched by the US. Starmer claims the Iranian regime is a direct threat to dissidents in the Jewish community. I'm gonna let him speak.
Earlier this morning.
Bro, you can cut out the part where you walk up. It doesn't make you look stronger.
Earlier this morning, the United States and Israel struck targets in Iran. Iran has since launched indiscriminate strikes.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Immediately. The United States and Israel struck targets in Iran, but then Iran launched indiscriminate strikes across the region. You know, let your bias show a little bit more, why don't you? Your bias is hanging out a little bit.
Across the region. I know the British people and communities across our country will be deeply concerned about what this means for security and stability and for the fate of innocent people across the region, which for so many of us includes friends and family members. So whilst the situation is evolving very quickly, I want to set out our response. The United Kingdom played no role in these strikes. But we
Stop. That's literally all you have to say, bro. Anything else you say is just dick riding. That's all you have to say. Just be like, hey, it wasn't us, and then move on. Right? Because I don't think going to war with Iran is popular in the UK either.
long been clear. The regime in Iran is utterly abhorrent. They have murdered thousands of their own people. Brutally.
Yo, Israel has killed tens and hundreds of thousands. Just in the last 2 years. No smoke for them, I guess?
Crushed dissent and sought to destabilize the region.
Iran sought to destabilize the region? Iran? And not, I don't know, the US, whose very clear motive is to destabilize the region by their own admission?
Even in the United Kingdom, the Iranian regime poses a direct threat to dissidents and to the Jewish community. Over the last year alone, they have backed more than 20 potentially lethal attacks on UK soil. So it is clear they must never be allowed to develop a nuclear weapon. That remains the primary aim of the United Kingdom and our allies, including the US.
I guess it justifies 87 schoolgirls that were just murdered in their school.
I condemn Iran's attacks today on partners across the region.
Are you serious, bro? Is he at least going to condemn the attack that killed the children, maybe?
Many of which are not parties to this conflict. We extend our support and solidarity to them as part of our commitments to the security of our allies in the Middle East. We have a range of defensive capabilities in the region, which we've recently strengthened.
I'm sorry. You can't say you're not a part of this military campaign and be like, but we are in the region. And if we need to, we will use them.
Our forces are active, and British planes are in the sky today as part of coordinated regional defensive operations to protect our people, our interests, and our allies, as Britain has done before, in line with international law. We've stepped up protection.
Yeah, but okay. But if Iran is at war with the US and Israel, like if they officially declare war and you're protecting Israel, would you not be aiding in that war and thus being a part of that war and thus cannot justify your defensiveness because you are engaged in the war? You can't say simultaneously say that like, you're not involved in the conflict and then be like, well, we're going to protect the people who are involved in conflict. So they're helping, yeah. But then they lied about it originally. Because they were saying that they weren't a part of like the specific strikes. The entire Western media and political class right now, yeah. It's actually worse than this because it's not even like, this is implying the same amount of bombs are being dropped. Iran dropped like 2 in comparison, like if you, proportionally. And then people were like, how dare you? You know?
And personnel to their highest level. We are also reaching out to UK nationals in the region and doing everything we can to support them. I've been speaking with leaders today from the E3 and across the region. It is vital that we prevent further escalation and return to a diplomatic process. We want to see peace and security and the protection of civilian life. Iran can end this now. They should refrain from further strikes, give up their weapons programs.
That is insane. That is crazy. Is that like, what audacity do you have, bro? Has he mentioned elementary school yet? No. But like, what audacity do you have to just lob bombs and be like, I can stop at any time? Not I can stop. You can stop this at any time if you just give me everything in your pockets. Stab, 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 stab. I can stop stabbing you. Just give me everything in your pockets right now and it'll be over for you. And people in the bystanders are like, yeah, why don't you just give them everything in your pockets? Just give them everything in your pockets. Why don't you just do that? Like, you're bombing them. You started this.
And cease the appalling violence and repression.
And it's not like there wasn't an Iran denuclearization deal. It's not like that didn't exist. And I can't with these people, bro. This is why I stick to the drama, dog. This is why I stick to the drama when I talk about politics, actual politics. It gets so frustrating.
Iranian people who deserve the right to determine their own future in line with our long-standing position. This is the route to de-escalation and back to the negotiating table.
How did we leave there? He's so cucked to America, bro. How did we leave the negotiating table? Please, just maybe it was due to some unprompted, unjustified strikes by Iran and Israel in a campaign that they started. That's how we got to this place to begin with. It's just like freaking October 7th. They're like, see, October 7th is so it's so horrific and it totally didn't come out of wasn't prompted by anything. It was totally unprompted and unjustified, and it's just like it's all Hamas's fault. And like I wonder how we got here in the first place. Maybe just look like 2 seconds into the history of anything. Like just flip the history book back 1 page just to see how we led up to this place to begin with. I don't know, maybe.
Thank you.
I hate all these people. Let's see what's going on in Hassan's stream.
It's crazy how terrifying this process is.
Oh, he got up and left. Now he's stripping. Okay. Here, we'll look at some of the strikes as well. Footage of an Iranian ballistic missile slamming into the headquarters of the U.S. Navy Fifth Fleet at the Naval Support Activities NSA in Bahrain earlier today.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Okay.
Videos like this are always so confusing to me. Not the explosion. I get the thing explode. But like from like the people are just happy to be people are recording everything.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Okay.
Like, it's insane. The state that we're in. There's already smoke. That's true. You're right. There was already smoke. So they might have been recording the smoke, and then like this explosion was just insane.
Oh my God!
That makes sense. Yeah, this one, like U.S. Fifth Fleet base. Oh, this is what they were recording. Okay, I believe. So this was the smoke that they were recording beforehand, which could be seen in the distance here. I'm pretty sure. It just looks so much further away. This is how Iran is attacking schools full of children. Yeah. Thought I was asleep, it appears. Yeah. Well, usually how it works is they wait for the markets to close, wait for the actual American population to be asleep. Cover this. U.S. soldier records Iranian strikes at his base.
Bro. Oh shit! Oh fuck! Oh shit! Oh! Oh shit! Oh fuck! Oh my god! Oh, dude, fuck me. A fucking missile actually got through. Oh, there's more. I gotta get the fuck out of here.
I'm sorry, I can't take this seriously when I realize that, like, there's just a SpongeBob picture that's next in the carousel. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, that's just so unserious. That's so unserious. I can't. There.
First round of strikes.
I have now become a Hassan rating room because I want to see Hassan stakes.
Immediately they went in and struck all of the American bases that have early warning systems, radars in all of the Gulf states, and then after they were done with that, they have not stopped pummeling Israel as well.
All right, chat. I can see you. Don't.
All this is
say
a
hi
shot
to
from the
me.
Epstein files. No joke. No, brother.
No.
No. This is not a distraction from the Epstein files. This is a 50-year project for Israel. This is so much more consequential than the fucking Epstein files. Like, this is not even that's crazy.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't think that it's I don't think it's completely unrelated. I do think the fact that the timing of it happening now is definitely partially due to the fact that Trump wants to distract from a lot of domestic issues, ICE being so unpopular, the Epstein files being so pervasive. I think that does play a role in his decision making. But Hassan is right. It's not because of Epstein. It's not like Trump felt the pressure of Epstein and was like, we need to go to war with Iran, right? Maybe if there was actually something that would come from it, like if Trump was being called to testify, I could see that as being more the case. But I do think that it is a part of it, for sure. It's a part of the conversation.
Or completely take over the Iranian oil refinery process, then you have a significant upper hand in this cartel. You can control the petrodollar to the best of your ability. You can use it as a significant point of leverage against your foreign adversaries like China. This is 50 years in the making. This isn't a new thing at all. And it's finally happening because Israel has lost all of its Western support. So this is perhaps the last time that they
Okay, this is what I think.
Okay, this is the last time,
which is the Strait of Hormuz is closed. Breaking Iran's Revolutionary Guards have warned ships over VHF, geez Louise, radio that no vessel is allowed to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. And EU SPD's naval mission officers told Reuters. The strait is narrow. Okay, we've covered this strait before, but that's also not particularly surprising. But yeah, I don't know. We can go back to watching what Trump said, but I really don't want to.
The JCPOA, the Iran denuclearization deal. One of the
explosions in Dubai
one of the conversations
as
that we
well.
had was obviously around America and Israel's interest in Iran. We talked about how it was never about denuclearization, and Obama basically proved that because Obama was able to get a successful multilateral deal through with Iran. Iran was willing to negotiate with the United States of America in exchange for sanctions relief. And then Donald Trump came in and ripped that apart in his first term, if you guys remember. And it basically showed anyone with more than 3 working brain cells, and I hope you guys have more than 3 working brain cells, that there was no real negotiation aspect, and it was more so just a way to create a reason to destabilize Iran inevitably. And the reasons for why America and Israel want to destabilize Iran is not because the Iranian people deserve sovereignty and dignity, although that is true. That's not the reason why America and Israel want to destabilize Iran. So if you're a fucking moron who actually believes that, get the fuck out of my chat. Okay?
22K on it.
You are the biggest dupe, the biggest sucker. I bet you also think.
What is this picture, Hassan? Did he just pick whatever was on his desktop? You'd be like, I need a thumbnail to go live.
Democracy in America. America doesn't even care about American citizens. America
Not from
certainly
Dune. It is
doesn't
from
even care
Dune, but like, why is that his thumbnail?
We literally parked 50% of our naval assets in and around Israel and in and around Iran. If you think that we care about what happens to them, you are fucking delusional. Okay? Yeah. You're the guy who goes to the strip club and says, "No, you don't understand. You see, Hassan, the stripper does love me, actually. She told me. She loves me. I believe her."
Now the number, so numbers, Drop Size is reporting the numbers up to 70 with 60 more killed. I don't know where the 87 number came from, but like it's probably up to 87.
You are all,
but it's just, there's also a lot of footage that I
best,
probably
human shields. Okay?
Don't know if I can show.
Because
they're digging people out of the
your
rubble.
worth to the American government, to the Israeli government, is either a human shield, collateral damage, maybe productive forces if you are productive to a certain degree, you know? What is this? Saved as modded GIF? Do we have a blast off meme, by the way? I didn't even blast off yet. It's 48 minutes in and I just started fucking going in. I was not expecting Iran to fire into like 5 countries right away. I was. Can you explicitly lay out how this benefits US and Israel? I mean, it depends. Are you talking about the working class? Are you talking about the capital owning class? Are you talking about those who are in positions of power? Because like if you're talking about the Epstein class, this benefits them tremendously because you're always moving units, right? Any American base that gets blown up as a consequence of Iran retaliating means
policy.
You know,
yeah,
more
the cat thing is
activity,
pretty
it means
interesting,
more
considering,
jobs,
especially
it means
in the
more
context of what's
subsidies from the
happening
government, it
here
means more
now.
taxpayer funded. Rebuild those bases.
Yeah, and this is what I'll say on the cat thing before we continue with this, because this is kind of more pressing news a little bit. I think people put too much stock in politicians. That's my take on both Cat, Graham Plattner, AOC, Ro Khanna. I think people put too much stake into politicians to like in general, and therefore when they fail to like, you know, be perfect, great, good, or even decent, it's like it's hard for a lot of people to grasp, right? And so they have to find ways around trying to justify or contextualize why that is the case, right? Like this is not Kat's first foray into like, you know, hiring like a Zionist who had bad foreign policy takes. I think this is the second time that she had to fire somebody for that in the first place. I such as Cat Warren Graham, Nazi Plattner. I agree with you, right? But I do think that there is issues with people who were like, I'm going to just ignore all of these warning signs, right? I'm going to ignore it because they're quote unquote progressive, and then get surprised when they get in office and they end up like AOC, who struggles to answer questions about China, you know what I mean, and has, you know, middling foreign policy takes, and can't call it, you know, what Israel's doing a genocide for 3 or 4, you know, months, you know. AFL-CIA's leadership is salivating at the good union jobs this will produce. I mean, it's also true. I feel like that she's young and got put down the wrong course by her freaking foreign affairs advisors. I mean, maybe, and she has chances to learn from it and grow from it. It does seem like her reaction to it are better than, you know, I think others would have been. Like, I think that she's reacting quickly and being like, hey, this is not what I believe. This is what I actually believe. I still think her answers are a little bit middling, but like, I think she's fine. She's okay. But I think people, you know, put too much stock into politicians, right? And they're just like, no, she's our girl. We need to defend her and support her no matter what. It's like, no, you can criticize her and it's okay. It's fine. You feel me?
Insane. Oh, because I said if there's any terrorism that happens on U.S. soil now, you will never be able to convince me nor millions of other Americans that it wasn't Israel and America conducting it together to rally the masses to support an insanely unpopular war. Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, no. Guys. I need you to understand. Guys. I know that the billionaire pedophilic elite will send your sons and daughters to go die in a region that has never done anything to you whatsoever.
I mean, I was talking about Jamel Bowie response, reposting this. So to be fair, Jamel Bowie has had middling takes holistically for a while now on a lot of different things. But, you know, he says it on TikToks. Like, it doesn't really get shown to people because people aren't really on TikTok like that.
They want to do that, and they can't do that as long as Iran has ballistic missiles. So we have to kill him. We have to kill him. But guess what, guys? Guess what? That could come across as anti-Semitic if you fucking literally call it out. You're not supposed to say that. And because it's deeply unpopular, because it's a deeply unpopular endeavor, because Israel is deeply unpopular, because Donald Trump is deeply unpopular, in an effort to do some sort of fucking crazy psyop on U.S. soil, if they were to do like an anthrax attack, for example, you know, never been done before in the United States of America.
I'm confused as what they mean by this is anti-Semitic. Like, Jewish people weren't even mentioned in the post, though. Like, Israel was mentioned, but, like, as we've spoken about before, like, Israel is not, you know, it's not Judaism. You feel me? Like, I mean, you can think that it's crazy. They'd be like, oh, the U.S. Or Israel would, like, plan a terrorist attack on U.S. soil as like a false flag. Like, you can disagree with that. You can think it's a conspiracy theory, but like it's not necessarily like inherently anti-Semitic, right? At least from what my view. Maybe I'm misunderstanding it or something.
Been conducted to make everyone in fucking Iowa
getting allegations, but that's what we said earlier about like that's what Israel wants. Israel's goal is to combine itself with like anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism, so that you can't criticize Israel without getting anti-Semitic allegations, and then therefore it would make people not want to criticize Israel at all because they don't want to be called anti-Semitic. I mean, this is kind of how I felt a few years ago when I first started to learn about Palestine. Right? I thought it was complicated because, to me, it was complicated in that like it's complicated to navigate, right? It's complicated to navigate how to talk about Israel without getting the anti-Semitic allegations until you realize that that's precisely Israel's goal. You know, Israel's goal is to make it so that you want to be wary about what you can and can't say because you don't want to be perceived as anti-Semitic, because any criticism of Israel to Israel would be deemed as anti-Semitic. I think it's made more people anti-Semitic, really. Yeah, for sure. No, it has. Right? There has been a rise of actual anti-Semitism because Israel has put everything in the box of anti-Semitic, right? It's like the boy who cried wolf, right? Nobody believes the boy who cried wolf after they cried wolf 50 million times. So when somebody says something anti-Semitic, you're like, that's anti-Semitic. You're like, okay. Somebody says something anti-Israel, you're like, that's anti-Semitic. You're like, I don't really see that, but sure. Somebody says something completely normal and valid, and you say that's anti-Semitic. Somebody's like, okay, maybe you're a little bit maybe your barometer for what's anti-Semitic is a bit off. And then somebody else says something anti-Semitic and you call it anti-Semitic, you're like, okay, well, I don't trust you now because you said this normal thing of somebody saying, I don't like Israel is anti-Semitic, right? So am I supposed to trust you when it's actual anti-Semitic is something anti-Semitic, right? And then you like, it makes people less wary about anti-Semitism. And you have people who like usually would care about it would be like, well, anti-Semitism, that's not even a real thing, right? And those people are wrong, obviously, like they're false. It is a real thing, right? But that's how the American populace would, or not even just America, but like how like normies who aren't expressly political would view it. They're like, bro, you're trying to stop me from saying normal basic stuff. Like I don't want my money going to foreign countries to fund their weaponry to kill people. And that's anti-Semitic. Well, then I'm gonna take that label. I'm gonna accept that label. You know. And that's why like the state of Israel was never there to like protect Jewish people, right? Or Judaism. Israel itself and the crimes, the war crimes that it commits, right, with the Star of David on its flag, increases anti-Semitism. Like, and they utilize and weaponize anti-Semitism to justify its own existence, right? So Israel actually likes anti-Semitism existing because then it falls into its notion that like the only safe space for Jews is Israel specifically. You know?
Protecting people from the Epstein files. Trump is doing this because here, dumbass.
Liberal.
Yeah, he reposted the fucking Colette reporter. Shame on you, Jamel.
Chopping up children's genitals.
Shame on you. Seriously, fucking shame on you, Jamel Bowie. That is fucking bullshit, and you fucking know it. Shame on you.
I do think it's funny because I stand by this is my take. I stand by the fact that I think I'm the only person who can criticize Hassan in a normal and justified, valid way.
Wait till liberals do this exact same thing, but this time for Trump consolidating power. Because they only deal in terms of like the Democratic Party's success in elections versus the Republican Party, right? Like they do not deal in the material, and they will literally lean into this stuff when it inevitably happens, okay? They will say, oh, Trump is doing this because he's distracting people from the Epstein files. Trump is doing this because Trump is doing this because he wants to consolidate power and implement martial law. All of these things also correspond to one another. They're not even separate from one another. These are not like mutually exclusive incidents.
I still don't get how it's anti-Semitic,
Yeah.
but that's
why
just me.
hasn't Jamel Bowie written a single fucking thing about Gaza? I remember a couple years in. I remember a couple years in. When at this point it was like a year and a half in, and people were like, "Hey, Jamel Bowie, we love."
I mean,
your takes.
he has his takes on Israel. He doesn't post them on Twitter, maybe on Blue Sky, but he'll post them on TikTok, and he gets drugged for it on TikTok. Because I remember somebody sent it to Hassan, I think over a year ago, and I clicked it and I was like, "Oh, that's a stupid take," and I just closed it and moved on. You know what I mean? Because like he's a liberal Zionist. I mean, he just is. I think he kind of not gets away with it, but like, I think he escapes critique and criticism because he doesn't post on platforms where I see it at the very least.
Okay, we love your takes, Jamel. Do you have nothing to say about what Israel is doing? And he was like, "Oh, I haven't read into it. I haven't read into I don't really know too much about what Israel is doing."
Okay, I was gonna make a.
No,
I can't say that. I can't say that. I saw John Fetterman's post about the War Powers vote, and he said, "A committed Democrat here. I'm a hard no. My vote is Operation Epic Fury, American flag." And I was gonna say something, and I can't say it. I won't say it. And not that I can't say it. I won't say it. I won't say it. I can't think of anything that is fine for me to say that won't get me a knock on my door. So I won't say anything.
He was never a friend of the show.
Aw.
Did you blast off, bro? No, I didn't.
Jamel Bowie lost a friend of the show card.
Yeah, 85 children have been killed by the Amer-Israeli bombing campaign in Iran. But guys, I need you to understand. My feelings might be hurt in this process because I'm trying to defend that and you're making it hard for me. You're making it hard for me. What about my feelings? Just a heads up, I couldn't find your stream on mobile and had to search for you on PC. What did I get fucking blacklisted already? No, I doubt it.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised just because Hassan is only at 42,000. The real question is, what is Asmongold at? Is Asmongold even live? Zach. No, he's not live. How much you want to bet Asmongold's going to hit 500,000 when he goes live? He will hit 500,000 when he goes live.
I was told it was supposed to be Iranian. Oh, Iranian citizens cheering on being bombed? Yeah, no. The Bahrainis are ecstatic. Every video I've seen of like unks in Bahrain filming the American base being struck is them going udrup 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 udrup.
There's also this. Before the Kamala wouldn't have ever done this, freaks resurfaced. They already have. Let's remember that she literally campaigned on being tougher on Iran than Trump. And at the bias to Israel, of course. Harris to Jewish voters, all options are on the table to stop Iran from going to war with going nuclear. In a pre-election high holidays call, U.S. Vice President says diplomatic solution is still preferable to keeping the Islamic Republic from the bomb. Charges that Trump won't stand by Israel. Oh my goodness, bro. She was literally like Taco Trump. She was doing Taco Trump too. Trump won't actually stand by our allies Israel when they go to war with Iran, but I will. And now she's going to be like, oh, but war is so bad. I'm against it. The only difference between Kamala and Trump on this is that Kamala, honestly, would have done it sooner and would have done it to more fanfare from Congress. On the table, how about bringing back the Iran nuclear deal? No, not that option. Because you know what George Bush said, we don't negotiate with terrorists. So you can't do negotiation. It's either they listen to us or we kill them all. That's what America does, right? Right? That's what America does. No matter who's in power, no matter what party's in power, you just dick swing and then murder children. Because that's it. That's all America is. And Israel is. But Israel is just an extension of America at this point. Harris suggested that Trump would not stand by Israel. She noted that in 2020, she chose not to reiterate or retaliate when Iran fired missiles at U.S. bases after Trump ordered a strike that killed a top Iranian military commander. When Donald Trump was president, he let Iran off the hook after Iran and its proxies attacked U.S. bases and American troops, she said. And she said that she would not do the same. Literally, this is just an example of her being like, I would be harder and tougher on Iran. But don't tell it to K-Hivers. They'll close their ears to it and won't listen to it. And if Kamala was in power, they would actually cheer on Kamala for doing this.
Kilometers wide at its tightest between Iran to the north and Oman and UAE to the south. Roughly 20 to 30% of the global seaborne crude oil, about 20 to 21 million barrels per day, moves through it. Major exporters, including Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, the UAE, and Qatar, depend on this single route to supply global markets. Price of oil will go up. Yeah, this was insane, by the way. This is just pure Jewish supremacy, for the record. CNN put out an article 33 minutes ago saying that this attack is for Amalek. This is Tal Shalev, senior reporter at CNN based in Jerusalem, who literally said this attack, this was last night, that this attack was for Amalek and to fulfill the mitzvah of remembering Amalek. Timing of U.S.-Israel attack on Iran bears symbolic meaning in Judaism. The timing of the U.S. and Israeli attack on Iran bears symbolic meaning in Judaism. Ahead of the upcoming Jewish holiday of Purim, worshippers read the specific portion from the Old Testament known as Zachor. The passage from the book of Deuteronomy commands the ancient Israelites to remember an unprovoked attack by the nation of Amalek and to eradicate the memory of Amalek once the Israelites are settled in their land. The passage is read publicly before Purim to fulfill the mitzvah of remembering Amalek as Israel's archetypical enemy. This is literally what Nick Fuentes also says. Benjamin Netanyahu and Nick...
I mean, the overlap between what Nick Fuentes believes and Netanyahu believes is like a circle because they're both anti-Semitic. Nick Fuentes is just an anti-Semitic neo-Nazi, and Netanyahu is just a anti-Semitic neo-Nazi, but like, you know, Prime Minister of Israel. I don't know. There are 54 updates. I want to look through a few of them. So there were retaliatory strikes from Iran. Kuwait reports injuries but no deaths from Iranian attacks. Israel army attacks a new wave of air attacks on Iran. So the Israeli army is retaliating against Iranian retaliation, and it's escalating. There's not any de-escalation on the horizon as of right now. Russia and Qatar call for an end to military action. U.S. urges commercial ships to avoid the Gulf. If you're just joining us, U.S. officials told Al Jazeera that the country will continue to launch extensive strikes from the air and at sea at Iran, as Israeli leaders say the attacks are aimed at removing the existential threat posed by Iran. Iranian Red Cross spokesperson says that at least 20 people in Iran and 32 provinces have been targeted. The number of people killed in Israeli attacks, the language of schoolgirls, Imminent, and this other province of, I'm terrible with names, has written to 85. So 85 is the official count right now. Yeah, but no other strikes. There's drones in Jordan as well. There's just a lot going on, bro. There's so much going on. And it does not look great if you want my thoughts on it. Here's a video of Netanyahu saying Iran has disclosed having nukes for 30 years. I mean, we showed it literally 9 months ago when he said the exact same thing, but I haven't shown it today, no. But he literally said it 9 months ago as well. It was the same thing then. All U.S. Israeli bases and assets in the region are legitimate targets, Iran tells the UN. So, again, the question is whether or not Iran will actually stick by this or if they're posturing. Because Iran has been known to posture a little bit. As in, they will present strength, but then only kind of attack like a few targets and then step back, trying to coax the U.S. back to the negotiating table. And is this time different? And it feels like to me that it's different, but I guess only time will really tell if it's different.
Okay, I'll do the remember who you're fighting for one.
It's happened like 3 or 4 times last year, or 2, yeah.
Incredible stuff. By the way, I'm live on Twitch and YouTube, okay? I'm live on both Twitch and YouTube here. We're blasting off.
Yeah. Or he's copying you. Ironically enough, the funniest part is I didn't even do you even blast off now? I don't blast off. Maybe I would have more viewership if I did, but nah, I don't. Didn't he just quit YouTube? What happened? Iran was struck by a joint operation by Israel and the US. So yeah. Yeah. I missed thumbnail hour. Yeah. Oh, I was saying, ironically enough, I didn't even go live on YouTube today. So, but the Ayatollah was killed. There's so okay. I'm gonna be real. My timeline is so broken. It's so busted. Hold on. I can show you. What is this? What is this source? I lost it. It was from Global Eye News, but it is a political it is a political aggregation account. So I haven't seen it from an actual source yet. Here, I'll show you this one as well.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. Our president will...
Obviously, hypocrisy fishing doesn't matter. Did it also say Israel assessment? Did it say that? I lost it. Oh, yeah, you're right. Israel has assessed. You're right. I didn't see that part. Yeah. That's probably why I haven't seen any freaking outlet cover it, because it's just like Israel's words. Trump contradicts his own words every day, so whatever. Yeah, but it's I think it's just so interesting that just like how little things like this matter to kind of all American officials. But yeah, it's a hate boner for Obama because he's racist, even though like, you know, he's not necessarily incorrect, but he's still racist. Okay. I'll end by saying this because I kind of just want to watch Hassan's coverage, and I'm not going to stream watching Hassan's coverage because we're also just waiting for more information. But I did find a funny video that I wanted to show.
But why?
Well, hopefully tomorrow, if I go live or end stream today and go live tomorrow, the war will be over. There'll be no more strikes, and it'll all be happy fun time. And Israel will choose to dissolve the apartheid state, and the United States will do United States stuff to itself, and then we will be fine.
But why wouldn't you want to vote for Gavin Newsom? Why wouldn't I vote for Gavin Newsom? But why wouldn't you want to vote for Gavin?
True. I can do an art stream tomorrow.
Gavin Newsom. Why wouldn't...
It's a funny video. It's a good video. But yeah. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Hopefully this is not the start of something new. High School Musical style. The Powerpuff Girls music was, yeah. Anything else, chat? I have to close some of these tabs. There's too many tabs. Oh, also, I want to end with this last thing. Bradley Martin, Middle East war again. Have any of these wars ever benefited us? Or the US? The us. Have any of these wars ever benefited us? Q Bradley. I mean, like, it's true. I don't necessarily like Chris Mowry, but he's not wrong about this. Like, you were posting Trump 2024. Like, what do you want us to say about that? You know what I mean? Like, you literally voted for this. And it's like, he literally ran on no new wars. That's why we voted for him. These wars will be the end of our union. Mark my words. Yeah, he's a liar, Justin Davis. And you're a fool, a rube. You believed him. It's the same thing. Another comment would have been better. She wouldn't have been better. But you fell for it. I'm sorry, you're stupid. You voted for him because you thought that he would end the wars? Really? Were you born yesterday? You want a binky too? You want mommy to change your diaper as well? What are you, a baby? Stupid. Look, you voted for this. This is exactly what you voted for. Like, I'm sorry. Like, what are we talking about here? It's not as cool as Bradley. And Bradley's wrong about this. Incorrect. And now he wants to be like, oh, what? Why is this happening? Oh, I wonder why. I wonder why. I mean, he's wrong about this, though. Stop the bullshit, man. Netanyahu have been saying Iran is like weeks/months away from nuclear arm for 30 years. I don't want to hear this message anymore. Yeah, but like, that was the case literally 2024 when you voted for Donald Trump. Like, I'm sorry, like my smoke for the two-party duopoly does not stop at Democrats. I think that there are a lot of leftists or socialists or communists whose smoke for the two-party system and two-party voters stop at the Democrats. And they don't. Mine extend to the Republicans as well. You are a silly rube for voting for the Republicans too, expecting anything to be different. They are a uniparty for a reason. And honestly, the Republicans are out here being objectively racist. Objectively racist. So you're just voting for the racism, getting nothing in return. And for the Democrats, you're voting for like the neutral on racism, still getting nothing in return. Jeez Louise. They didn't see Trump being tight with Netanyahu and thought, no more wars. Okay, yeah, because they're stupid. They're dumb. You think I'm independent? You escape my ire for now, chatter. One of the coolest things you can do is dodge the draft. Realistically, there won't be a draft. Like, the only time, this is my take, and I may be wrong about this. I'm wrong about very few things, but I'm still wrong about some stuff. The only time there would ever be a draft is if we go to war with China. It was a joke? Interesting. But that's it. Is if we go to war to China. Any other war or engagement we've done, even then it's still iffy because America only fights in asymmetric warfare. Since World War II, America has only fought in asymmetric warfare. But even then, with the Korean War and Vietnam, it was still like asymmetric only because of the fact that we weren't fighting like we didn't have necessarily like or we weren't like it was still asymmetric in that like you know what I mean. It was asymmetric, but like it was a little bit more boots on the ground. But like that's not what wars are going to be anytime soon. You know, this is kind of the point I was making. Enforcing a draft is probably the fastest way to ruin your approval rating. I mean, it's already bad for both parties. So like, it doesn't necessarily matter unless you do like a freaking third term presidency kind of thing that Trump wants. If you're gonna be a third term president, then like who cares? Who's gonna stop you? Do you think this will escalate? What are your predictions? I think this will continue to escalate for the next few weeks, next few months. I don't think we'll have boots on the ground. I think things will continue to escalate in the tune of like It'll still be asymmetric. It's like Israel will continue killing civilians and kids. America will continue to help them do so. Iran will continue to strike at targets and may strike at civilian infrastructure, killing civilians too. But like, I don't think it'll go to like boots on the ground for American citizens, unless like China or North Korea or Russia gets involved and gives nuclear weapons to Iran. Then I think we're at like a, we'll be at like a Cold War state of like our proxy versus their proxy kind of thing. I'm very surprised the UAE was targeted. Dubai is normally seen as a safe haven. It might be indicative of like where Iran is at now, as it is different from where they usually are, which is like they just do strikes on military infrastructure in Israel, and like they kind of leave it at that. But like now it's like there's a lot of talks of like them, kind of going ham. Fans are finally seeing it's what it is. I think a lot of other people are waking up from this. I mean, yeah, it doesn't help that this off the backs of 2 years of genocide, Like even last year, this time when it was happening, it was only a year and a half into genocide, And so, I think at that point it was, a year and a half. And so people were still like pro-Israel, ostensibly. Now it's like people are very against Israel and against foreign wars. Definitely against foreign wars on the behalf of Israel. And so nobody's going to be happy about this. The World Cup is 4 months away and the country's in chaos. And yeah, we have the Olympics next freaking year. I think. Yeah, next year. No, 2 years. 2028? Okay, in 2 years. Boycott the US at this point? Some people are. And honestly, they probably should. I'm not saying this because I live in Los Angeles and I want less traffic. Anyway. Yeah. I mean, that's you lived in North Carolina. I did. But now I'm in Los Angeles. Apparently there won't be much traffic because everyone will leave LA to avoid traffic. I'm right there with them, to be fair. I will not be here for the World Cup, chat. I'm telling you, if you want to go to the World Cup, bro, my apartment is open. I can leave you my keys. I'm not going to be here. I'm going back to freaking North Carolina. And then I'm going to DreamCon. About Knicks? Knicks is coming with me. So, it is a nightmare situation. We can barely handle the density that we have today. Yeah. Give me your keys.
I know. Over to the Middle East when Israel started war with Gaza. I've lost buddies, lost to the suicide too. I'm fucked up in the head and this shit's making it worse. I served because I was broke, Puerto Rico situation. Knowing I fucked up my body and mental for Israel is driving me insane. Okay. There is a fucking productive thing that you can do, for the record, which is organize. Get other like-minded individuals that have been in the same fucking conditions and ensure that no one else gets duped and suckered into the same predicament ever again, okay? That's what you're supposed to do. Your lived experience should help you help others, okay? You can't give up.
He's watching the Keir Starmer thing. This one pissed me. Honestly, out of everything I've seen today, this legitimately might have pissed me off the most. You know what I mean? Out of everything I've seen today, this legitimately might piss me off the most. It made me so mad. I couldn't, bro.
To the best of your ability to make things right, to ensure that there aren't new, younger generations that fall into the same fucking trap.
Hassan is correct about this, but this is why I'm anti-Graham Plattner. Because Graham Plattner is not doing that particularly. Graham Plattner is just being like, this is my service and I'm a career Army and military veteran and I served my country. And we did some bad stuff over there, but I did serve my country. You know what I mean? Like, as a veteran, my expectation for you is for you to be like, listen, do not join the military. It is an illegitimate institution that only serves to commit harm. right? That is my expectation of you. And yeah, you can be like, yeah, if the service members who were in there, right? My goal is to convince them that what they did was bad and wrong, right? Because see Plattner's thoughts on this. Plattner had a decent take on this. It's just no war with Iran, which is just like, yeah, that's kind of like all I expect from you, you know? Like Plattner doesn't have like bad takes on. So I think all he says is just people don't want war with Iran. I can't spell. Which is he's correct. He's right on. Graham, I was born to be a soldier. Plattner, yeah. Where's it at? Here.
Donald Trump has illegally and unconstitutionally used military force against another country. Once again, in the space of less than 2 months, we awake to find that Donald Trump has illegally and unconstitutionally
Questionable tattoo taste, though? That's true.
Force against another country. Today, he has started major combat operations against the nation of Iran. He is doing this because he is flailing politically. He ran on ending foreign intervention like this, but because he sees his political future at risk, he is willing to send young American men and women into harm's way, and he is willing to bring an immense amount of violence upon the civilian population of Iran. This
mincing words, but like, you know, I would have started with the massive civilian death toll that he will try to enact, instead of, you know, considering the U.S. Men and women who are going to, you know, choose to continue to fight for American imperialism. But okay,
behavior makes us a pariah on the international stage. But we have to remember that this behavior is because we have acted like this in the past. I fought in wars just like this one. We cannot continue to have a foreign policy built around just dropping bombs on people when it benefits those in power here at home or benefits corporate interests abroad. This is not how the United States military should be utilized. Sadly, in the coming weeks, we are likely going to see more horror.
Again, he's not wrong about this. My only issue is, how do you think it should be utilized, Graham? I think I will say what he's done a very good job of is keeping his thoughts on stuff like that pretty low key, right? Oh no, wait, what I miss? Chat's going crazy.
Additionally, I want to say, Iranian New Yorkers, you are part of the fabric of the city. You are our neighbors, small business owners, students, artists, workers, and community leaders. You will be safe here. Okay, that's actually pretty good.
I missed this statement. Gosh darn it.
I'm focused on making sure every New Yorker is safe. I've been in contact with our police commissioner, emergency management officials. We are.
Man, Twitches.
They do not want another war in pursuit of. Today's military strikes on Iran carried out by the United States and Israel mark a catastrophic escalation in illegal war of aggression, bombing cities, killing civilians, opening a new theater war. Americans do not want this. They do not want another war in pursuit of regime change. They want relief from the affordability crisis. They want peace. I'm focused on making sure every New Yorker is safe. I've been in contact with our police commissioner, emergency management officials. We are taking proactive steps, including increasing coordination across agencies and enhancing patrols of sensitive locations out of an abundance of caution. Additionally, I want to speak to Iranian New Yorkers. You are part of the fabric of the city. You are our neighbors, small business owners, students, artists, workers, and community leaders. You will be safe here. Okay, that's actually pretty good. Like,
so I was obsessed with New York, as he should be. Like,
God.
I think that's part of the reason why he's so popular, is that because he's like, dog, I don't give two flying flips about Israel. I care about New York.
President, this was not an inevitability. This is a deliberate.
Right, and to be entirely fair, right, comparing him to like AOC or even Graham Plattner, like, I think it's a little bit unfair because he is the mayor of New York. Like, he has a very specific, like, dog, I'm not even in Congress. You feel me? Like, I'm the mayor of New York. That's what my focus is gonna be, right? So like, that's not to you know, give, you know, credit to like Graham Plattner or AOC or whatever, but like, it is a little bit easier to like play this I only care about my district role when you don't have to worry about like voting in Congress about what the country needs holistically, right? Your job is to be the New York mayor. Oh my goodness. Twitch's thing is so broken.
I will say,
like all of you, I woke up this morning to the terrible news that Donald Trump had taken up.
Yeah, I was talking to Abdul last night.
Again, to
My
war
goat.
with Iran. Ask yourself who this benefits. It doesn't benefit you or I. It doesn't make our grocery prices any cheaper. It doesn't address the fact that our healthcare is more expensive. It doesn't make home ownership more attainable. All it does is change the subject, distract us from the broken presidency of Donald Trump. This is a man who ran on America First, who ran promising that the
Oh my goodness, bro. Oh my goodness, please.
solve your problems. He'll not even try. Instead, when those problems get bad enough, he's going to distract you.
How do I get my boyfriend to snap out of the Western war can be good mindset? I know he's smart enough to understand this, but he just won't. Is he cattle? Does he sometimes go,
break up with
like
him
when you bring him treats?
Go leave him? No, I mean, it's to be fair, if you think war is good, like war is never good, right? War, at the very least, it historically may have been necessary, but it's never good. It's never positive unless you are like, you know, an imperialist, unless you are a conqueror, unless you want to subjugate other people. That is the only state in which war is good, right? Is if you are a bad person, right? Now, breaking him out of the war is necessary mindset is a lot easier than breaking him out of the war is good mindset. If he thinks that war is good, right, he is a moral character flaw. If he thinks that war is necessary, he's duped, right? That's my thought process on that. It's either if he thinks that war is good, he is a character flaw, but if he thinks that war is necessary, he's duped, and we can fix that. Also, just break up with him.
He might literally be livestock, but if you grew up in a rural area, ask him, hey, don't you think it's fucked up that you don't have a rural hospital? Like the last time you guys had like a healthcare professional in this region was 35 years ago, and businesses have completely pulled out of this area. Everyone is poor as fuck. But it seems like there's always money in the bank to go to war overseas. Does that do anything for you? Does that do anything positive for you? Does that make you feel good? Why does that make you feel good?
I mean, like, this is funny because like this person's boyfriend is literally one of the like dozen people in the country who's like, yeah, war is actually pretty good. Most people don't think like that. Most people is like, dog, I don't care about this. Please, can I have my health care? I beg of you. I beg of you. That is it. If he refuses to be educated on reality, then he's a lost cause. I don't think it's lost cause. I think it's lost cause, right? Am I crazy? Am I tripping? Anyway, I've made my point. I've just been chilling here talking and yapping to y'all. You're right, W. And yeah, I will say we're also only 1,500 follows away from 40K. Is that not crazy, chat? It feels like we just hit 30K. Because we were going to do a 30-hour stream in like November or December. Now we're almost at 40K. That's wild. You know what also was 40K? Warhammer 40K. Oh, maybe we'll do a Warhammer 40K stream for 40K. Eh? 40-hour Warhammer 40K. No, it wouldn't be 40 hours. Painting figures, 40 push-ups. Nah, my arms can't do that. I used to be able to do that, bro. Now I'm got fat and lazy. Painting figures. I mean, maybe we'll just play Space Marine 2. Look who it is at the scene of the crime. At the scene of the crime, Gavin Newsom. The corrupt, repressive Iranian regime must never have nuclear weapons. Leadership of Iran must go, but it does not justify the president of the United States engaging in an illegal, dangerous war that will risk the lives of American service members and our friends without justification to the American people. President Trump putting Americans at risk abroad because he's unpopular at home. That's my next president. Anyway, that's what I'm gonna call it. And you know what? Fine, sure. I'll send you to freaking Hassan. He doesn't need it though. He doesn't even need it. W short stream, indeed. Even Klein's already posting this was good. Of course he is. He's pro-Trump, no matter what he says. So even if Trump did this in a way that was you know, not justified, he's still finding a way to, you know, be like, yeah, because he's pro-American exceptionalism, American imperialism. Yeah. And yeah, that's it, chat. I'll play you out. Why not raid Mari? I raided Mari yesterday. And I try to at least raid somebody different every stream that I do. All right, you're gone. Goodbye.